All right. All right. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good middle of the night, good whatever time it is, wherever you are in the world. We're really excited to have you here for this information session on Lyft. So I'll do a quick introduction of what Lyft is, and then I'm actually going to just jump right into our website to utilize that throughout our conversation. That way you can find whatever we're talking about easily because you've seen us talk through it as well. So I want to start by introducing myself. My name is Jeff Middlestat. I'm the Executive Director of the Ackerman Center for Excellence in Sustainability. We are a center in the Keenan Flagler Business School at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. So it's a lot of names there, but we're the people who created Lyft and are operating it. Tracy, I'm going to spotlight you for a second as well. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. It's great to see so many people here for, this is like our fourth information session. So thank you for joining us. I'm Tracy Triggs Matthews, and I'm the Associate Director in the Ackerman Center. And look forward to having you joining us on this journey with the challenge.
Thank you, Tracy. Appreciate it. So Lyft. We'll just start off with what it means. So Lyft stands for Launching Investment for Future Transformation. It is all about using blended finance-based impact investing in order to help drive positive sustainability impact. And I want to just define for you how we define and internalize the term sustainability. Sustainability is all about simultaneously having positive impact on people and the planet, and from the business school perspective, driving profitability through positive impact, and also creating profitable solutions that can mobilize more capital to have more and more positive impact, which is why we're all here today. Normally I wait for a little while to define what blended finance is, but I'm going to go ahead and do a very general definition of it, so that we're all on the same page of what it is. But before I do that, I want to mention that we designed this entire challenge, the Lyft Challenge, to teach blended finance. So if you've never heard of the term before, fantastic. If you've heard of it and want to learn more about it, fantastic. We wanted to create something that was more about building a cohort of people who are passionate about positive social and environmental impact, to teach how blended finance opportunities and what blended finance structures and vehicles, how they can help you have and implement proposals and ideas around positive social and environmental impact. And we attach it to the United Nations 17 Sustainable Development Goals. So if you have a passion about any kind of impact issue within those 17 Sustainable Development Goals, which are pretty broad reaching, this is a place for you. So we're going to try to take your passion for a certain sustainability topic and help you learn how different types of blended finance related impact investing ideas could maybe help you have the impact that you want to have in your career and in school. So before I go on, are there any questions just in general about anything that I just said? We're going to get into a lot of details here in a minute, but I want to just take a step back and see if there are any questions quickly. Okay, well, if there are any questions, you can stop me at any point. You can also raise your hand, and Tracy, if you can see if people are raising their hands, that would be awesome. And then, or you can put it in the chat. All right. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I am going to share the Lyft website and use that to talk about everything that Lyft is and the opportunities we want to create for you. That way, when you go to the site, maybe there'll be more of a connection with what I'm saying. And then the quicker I do this, the more questions I can answer when we get through with it. So, all right. So can everybody see my website? All right, my website, sorry, my web page, my browser, whatever the word is. I think it's because we're recording right now. Anyway, so this is the Lyft website. Launching Investment for Future Transformation is sponsored by Bank of America, and managed and created by us at ACES, the Ackerman Center for Excellence in Sustainability. So 4 years ago, we started conversations with Bank of America about what impact investing related and impact finance related topics are not being taught enough, in our opinion, and how can we create something that's going to teach this to any student who wants to learn it around the world. And that's where this came from. And so I'm going to click on About Lyft to come in here and just tell you a little bit about the challenge. So the idea being, you don't have to know anything about blended finance at all. But in general, blended finance is about utilizing public funding and or philanthropic funding that's looking for more for a return, an impact return than a financial return, to attract private capital, which is looking for a financial return and probably an impact return as well, but they need to have a certain return on their investment, or looking for a certain interest if it's debt-based, and they want to reach those hurdles with their investments. The idea being, if we can utilize the public and philanthropic funding to start our work in this area, then private capital will say, hey, there's all this money already working towards success. I want to be a part of that. Because they could invest their money somewhere else, but why not figure out and create a way for them to invest or provide financing in a way that has the positive social and environmental impacts that you're interested in. And so that's what this is all about, is how do we do that? So you do not have to know how to do that at all. That's why we designed this. So we love that there are so many people who start this challenge not having any idea about blended finance and come out of it with information and knowledge and skills that they didn't have before, that can help them have the impacts that they want to have. If we could all mute ourselves as well, that would be great. Thanks. Thank you, Tracy. So in general, the way that this works is you can either register through our registration form on the website, or you can just skip straight to what we call the concept note. What you need to have is an idea and a passion for positive impact. The registration is more of, I want to do this, but I'm not ready to submit the concept note. The concept note is maximum 3 paragraphs. It could be 2 sentences that just helps us understand what is the positive sustainable development related impact you want to have. That allows us to find different resources to send your way, to point you in different directions, and also to help us set up additional coaching opportunities in the next few months based on your interests. We suggest having teams of 2 to 5 students. It can just be one of you right now. And you have all the way up until the proposal on deadline on January 31st, which is when you have to submit your final proposal, to find that team or those team members. So it can be just you when you start. On the other hand, we've had people who have had 6 or more, and we highly suggest that if you have multiple people, but especially if you have 6 or more people on your team, split it up into 2 teams and try 2 different ideas out, so that you can get feedback on 2 different ideas from all of the coaches and judges that you'll have throughout the next few months. So you just have to have a passion for impact, positive impact, and yourself to get started. The reason to go to the concept note level is that when we have coaching sessions, we only invite the students who have submitted a concept note. It's kind of like your ticket in, because this entire challenge is free. We just want to know a little bit more about why you're joining this challenge before we start inviting you to the coaching sessions. You can also change your concept note later on if you want. Not even your concept note. You would not have to resubmit your concept note. You can change your idea later on. Just let us know that you've done that, so that we can try to find resources to help you. So you're not committing to anything with the concept note, except that you're going to be a part of Lyft. You're going to join some coaching sessions and submit a proposal on January 31st. No judges will ever see the concept note. So I'm really trying to explain to everybody that the concept note should not be a hurdle to you joining Lift. That is just the way for us to help you out the best. There are many different levels of involvement and what's the word that and work effort that student teams put into this. So we've had teams in the past that won the team who won our first competition, Lift competition. They submitted their concept note early, went to every coaching session, and then and worked on their idea week in and week out when they weren't in class and when they weren't in work, because some of them had jobs as well. And then submitted their proposal at the end of that time. There are others who have made it to the finals who started their coaching as early as they could by getting a concept note in, but didn't have time really because of their lives and all of the things that you have. Everybody's very busy, and we understand that. And so we don't want you to miss out on things like coaching sessions and learning new ideas that can help you with your passions. And so you could enter, so you can go to the coaching sessions. You might not have time till the week or the weekend before the proposals are due on January 31st to work on it. And that's completely fine too. So we've had people who treated that last weekend as kind of a case competition, spent the whole weekend working on their idea, submitted it, and then got to the finals. And so you can do anything and everything in between those two aspects. There are people who didn't submit a concept note either, never had a coaching session, and I believe did get to the quarterfinals. When all they did was submit a proposal without ever having submitted a concept note on January 31st. I don't suggest that, because these are free coaching sessions where you'll get to sit in a Zoom room like this. Like tomorrow, we have a blended finance expert from Bank of America doing a coaching session tomorrow. And so any concept notes that come in today or tonight will be invited, or by the time we wake up in the morning, I guess, right, Tracy? We'll be invited to that coaching session tomorrow. And so it's just an opportunity for you to listen to experts, learn from them, and then submit an idea to see what happens at the end. So you go through all of this coaching, you get to January 31st, you submit a proposal. A proposal looks like this: 25 slides on a PowerPoint, Google Slides, whatever it is you use. You submit those slides, right? And then at least 5 to 6 judges from around the world who are experts in different aspects of blended finance, impact investing, sustainability and finance, sustainability topics. So climate change, renewable energy, food insecurity. I could go on, apparel and textiles, agriculture. Will look, and they'll be assigned accordingly. We'll look at the proposals and they'll rate the proposals on 7 different criteria. I'm going to show you those criteria in just a little bit. But then when we get to the end of that first round, and that's all it is, they're just looking at your proposals, the PowerPoints or the slides that you created. You are allowed to optional documents as well. One is a narrative and one is a spreadsheet. But the judges are instructed to make their decisions based off of the slides. So then once they've rated all of the proposals, the top 8 by those ratings are then invited to come to the quarterfinals, which are live pitches, virtual live pitches, so it's through Zoom, with at least 5 to 6 judges on each panel that you would pitch to. And it's head to head. So ideally, the team with the highest ratings after the first round will go head to head against the team with the lowest of those 8 teams, the lowest ratings of those 8 teams in the first round, with the same panel of judges. So then the judges decide who will move on to the next round. And so that happens on February 16th and 17th. And on the 17th, we'll crown first place champions and second place. First place gets $10,000. Second place gets $5,000. I will stake everything I have on it to say that that while the money is nice, the biggest reward you get out of this, whether you get past the first round or not, is the feedback you get from the professionals who are judging from around the world. So if you get to January 31st and you're not sure it's your quote unquote best effort, because I've had that come up a lot, submit it anyway, because they're not going to judge you as human beings. They're going to judge the slides that you submitted based on blended finance, and most importantly, the social and environmental impact that you hope you would have with that proposal. So no matter where you are on January 31st, submit, because you're going to get invaluable feedback that you can use in your classes, in your internships, in your jobs, in your careers, from people who have been professionals and successful globally. So that's my spiel on that part. So yes, money looks good, but to me, without a doubt, the most important thing is the feedback you'll get from judges. So there's a detailed timeline here on the About page, and you can go through it. And here's the UN Sustainable Development Goals, in case you haven't worked with them before. I'll bet many people have who are on this right now. You just have to have an idea that could impact any of these or multiple of these sustainable development goals. I think I went through proposal deadline. You can read about more background here if you'd like. One of the things we do really, really try to emphasize with this is that whether your idea is a social impact idea or an environmental impact idea, is to try to also incorporate at some level social equity and economic mobility opportunities through your idea. We think that's very important to make sure that the impact that you're trying to have is sustainable itself into the future, into the long term. So if you want to compete, which I hope you all do, here it is in a quicker version. You can register your team if you want. You don't have to. You can, if you figured out the sustainable development goals and the impact initiative that you want to create, go straight to submit a concept note, and this is what it looks like. This is the form. You put your team name, so come up with whatever name you want. You can change the team name later. The team that won it the first year changed their name before the finals. Put the names of your team members, the email addresses of the team members, so that if somebody is not able to respond to something, especially when we get to the deadline quick enough, that we've emailed multiple of you so that somebody can go in and fix something if something needs to be fixed in order for the submission to go through, all of that kind of stuff. That doesn't usually happen, but there's one or two every year. The university or universities that you're part of. So this competition is open to any student who's undergraduate or graduate, associate's degree, etc. As long as you're in a college or a university, you can be part of this competition. You can also work across universities, and we highly encourage it. We had somewhere between 5 and 7 teams last year that had multiple universities represented on their one team, and we love that. We want to know the departments of study within your school, because sustainability is multidisciplinary and transdisciplinary, but so is blended finance. That's why it's such a great match to us, is that you are matching different types of financing in order to make your unique idea work. Your proposal concept, that's the 3 paragraphs maximum. It can be 2 sentences. It can change later, but it helps us send you some resources to help you out. These are the ones that sometimes give people a little bit of pause. The first one is select the type of financial vehicles you plan to explore for your solution. We love the first answer, so we put it at the top. We're not sure yet. You do not have to know what you're going to be using. If you do, that's great. Check it. I want to create a debt fund. Fantastic. That helps us send some different information your way. Most say we're not sure yet, and we love that. Same thing for the next question. Blended finance is a structuring approach. Select the blended finance structures you plan to explore for your solution. Again, we're not sure yet is the usual answer, and we love that. Don't worry about it. Just do it and get it in, and we can send you stuff. But if you already know you want to create technical assistance funds, something that helps with technical assistance funds, check it, and we'll send you some stuff that way too. And then hit submit. So that's it for that one. Are there any questions so far? Okay. Well, if there are, you know how to ask us. Oh, there's something in the chat. Did I miss something? Oh, that's the link. Thanks. And I'd never put this in you probably have already been here by now, but there's the Lift Challenge website as well. All right. If you go to Blended Finance, here's a good just summary page about what it is. Great 2-minute video from Bank of America, some different slides that give you some different a different feel for the impact frameworks. And then an example. This isn't the only way to do a blended finance project, but these are 5 steps from the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. These are some examples of how to develop a blended finance project. There are also examples of blended finance funds where you create a fund that's created from blended finance. We will send you, once you've sent your concept note in, we're going to send you 2 more web pages that we don't put on the regular website that are public, but we don't put them up here. That is just a library of information on blended finance. But you can also, don't start from scratch if you don't need to, and we don't. For every single SDG, we have at least one example of blended finance-based impact investing funds or projects, right? So you can click on learn more about any one of these, and it will take you to a summary page about it. You can see where they got their capital from, what kinds of capital. In this case, it was debt capital. Some are equity, some are a combination, but you'll learn about that in the coaching sessions. And it just, if there's already examples out there, use them. Start from what's already out there and then recreate it for your solution in your geography, for the communities and society and cultural environment that you're trying to create this solution and implement it. But don't worry about starting with something that's similar to what somebody else has done. Our number one goal is impact. We want you to have the impact you want to have. So use the examples we have to help you. We also have story maps about different types of impact opportunity, whether it's food and food insecurity or clean energy, apparel and textiles, conservation, wildlife and environmental conservation, fishing, packaging. So we have a lot of different ideas you can explore here. And we have a past finalists page. So if you want to get a feel for we have 3 story maps on past finalists and some of the other topics that have been explored. Just because a topic has been explored doesn't mean you shouldn't do a similar topic within your geography, within your industry, within whatever it is that makes you unique and the impact you're trying to have possible. So if somebody else has done it, that's fine. Just make it your own unique version of having that type of sustainability impact. And just to give you a quick idea, here's what a story map looks like. So it'll take you through the story. It'll introduce you to people who are on the team, what their motivation was, the proposal they had, and some different aspects of it, their process that they went through and what they're looking forward to next in their lives. So we have 3 of those up right now. All right. Is that everything? I think so. Okay, so I am going to stop my sharing and ask if there are any questions I can help answer. Yes, so this question comes up a bunch. So do we just assume funding from organizations or governments, or do we have to actually reach out to organizations and get their support? So I'm going to take that question and go even further. This is a great question. So student teams have gone across the entire spectrum here. So you can literally be working with an organization or a company and say, hey, I'm getting a student team together, and we're going to try to figure out how we could use blended finance to help implement your sustainability solutions for the purpose that you have them, for the social impact or environmental impact purpose that you have them. So you can even work with existing nonprofits or companies to say, hey, I want to figure out if there's a way to do this for you. And then you can start with the research in terms of who's out there who could provide funding, what kinds of policies are creating public funding, what kinds of philanthropic organizations and institutions exist out there that could help with funding, what kinds of financial institutions and banks could help with the funding, that types of funding that you're looking at. So you don't have to have talked to all of those to submit the proposal. You can, though. So we've had teams who have won, who have not, or who have at least been finalists. I can't remember all of the teams who have won, who have not talked to the potential funders, and we've had teams who have talked to the potential funders. We've had teams who worked on a theoretical project that they'd like to do. They still reached out to stakeholders that would be related to their theoretical project so that they could better understand it, because stakeholder understanding is really important for making sure that impact would actually occur. The impact that you're looking for would actually occur. We've had organizations, the team who won the first year implemented their idea. And so it's actually happening in Rwanda and Bangladesh. And so you have the whole gamut. You have, last year's winners were sophomores in college, so they're still in university, and we're not planning on implementing it because they're still going to classes, doing other internships, things like that. So it runs the whole gamut. I hope that answers your question a little bit. So you don't have to have talked to the organizations and governments to try to see if you can secure that funding, but it could also help your pitch, your proposal, when you submit it, if you have at least tried to reach out to them, but at least know a little bit about the sources of funding through your own research. Does that help answer the question? I hope so. Okay, good. What other questions could I help answer? I needed something for my throat there. What distinguished winners? How were they chosen? Okay, so when you submit your concept note, we're gonna. Oh, I didn't share that. Hold on. I'm gonna do this quickly. When you go to compete and scroll down, there are 7 judging criteria. Once you submit your concept note, we'll send you the same exact questions that the judges are asked for each of the judging criteria. You'll also learn about how much weight there is to different things. For example, impact and scale of solution and the challenge, those all are heavily impact related and count for a very large percentage of your scores, right? And so impact measurement, and impact management is very, very important, because unless you have that, why bother with the blended finance, right? So that's kind of the theory on that. And so what sets the finalists and winners apart are those who have shown that they have researched and talked to people about how to truly translate an idea into impact and how to measure that impact moving forward, and connected that to their blended finance solution. And so that's the thing that really sets people apart. And then in that process, that means taking into account the impacts on different stakeholders, so that they show that they've looked at not just what they're trying to create, but how does that impact current jobs or a current industry, and how are you going to, you don't have to figure out all of the ways of doing this, but at least showing that you've noticed, maybe there might be a training, some sort of training that's needed in order to transition people from an existing job they have into a new job. And you don't have to do all of that. There are people who spend their entire day, every day of their life, trying to find those solutions, all of these things, right? So it's just showing that you understand that and have noticed that, and that there needs to be a plan created for that kind of thing. So really thinking about the different types of impacts on different stakeholders you have, and then connecting that to a financial or investment solution that is feasible, if you will. And so feasibility means different things for different projects. So we kind of will provide you with feedback on that, and the coaching sessions will provide you with feedback on what feasible means for different size projects and types of projects. Does that help? Okay, good. Any other questions? I know we've gone over, but I want to make sure. All right. Well, thank you so much. You know how to get a hold of us, I believe. You can use our email addresses, and then you can also email aces@unc.edu, and we will help however we can. If you get concept notes in today, you can get invited to tomorrow's coaching session. Thank you. Have a wonderful day, evening, morning, whatever it is, wherever you are. Thank you. Bye.